Alright guys, so you've seen the title of the video, or if you're tuning in live, the title of the live stream. It's not a topic, as a matter of fact, that I really hit on whatsoever on this channel, but I've had enough messages from you guys recently, be it on Facebook, Instagram, even I believe once or twice, possibly in our Discord group chat, that I literally was just like, you know what, I gotta make a quick live stream video for you guys, and live specifically because if anyone has any questions or anything as I'm going over just some of these questions that you must ask before buying not even just a pest control business really, but any type of business for that matter. I think you're all going to get a lot of valuable information from this. If you're new to me and tuning in for the first time and just wondering who the heck is this guy, what business does he have, what knowledge does he have that makes him kind of, credible to speak on this subject. My name is Griffin Thomas. I own a pest control company myself, Preferred Pest Management in the Dallas, Texas area. I started that business with just under $8,000. I always say zero because I literally had to sell my car that I had, cash out a 401k just to piece together that $8,000. And I took that money and turned it into a six-figure business that we're slowly, chugging our way on up to seven figures over time. And part of that is actually going to be by acquiring some businesses over time as well. There's not a lot out there in my area right now, unfortunately, but yeah, I've had enough of you guys recently that have been reaching out through, like I said, Instagram messages, Facebook. I even see the question in other group chats, as a matter of fact, on Facebook, things of that nature, where I was just like, this needs to be addressed. Specifically, if you're looking at purchasing kind of like a one-man operation. I've actually experienced this. Not personally, but within my own family. A lot of you guys know that I'm not the only pest control business owner that is in my family. It actually started with my grandfather in the Midwest. He's owned a pest control company in the Midwest for like 30 or 40 years now. And I started mine, about 4 years ago now in the Dallas, Texas area, of course, when we moved here, me and my wife years ago. But my cousin up in the Midwest was looking at purchasing my grandfather's business. And, I don't know the exact numbers or anything, to an exact T, but I got enough information from it that, I warned my cousin even. I was like, dude, this is not a good deal for you. I personally wouldn't do it. If you want to do it, obviously it's your money, it's your life. Do what you want to do. But that leads me into my whole point about buying a pest control business, specifically the smaller one-man, two-man operations. Unfortunately, a lot of pest control business owners do quick Google searches to estimate how much they think their business is worth. This includes, of course, the one-man shows. Most businesses in the pest control industry are one to two-man operations. They're very small businesses that are barely doing, $100,000 to $500,000. And unfortunately, until you start hitting north of about $500,000 a year, you are not going to get the multiples that you are going to see with a quick Google search when we're talking about things like earnings multipliers and things of that nature. Some do it based on EBITDA. A lot of them will do it based on like annual revenue, factoring in, of course, different types of assets within the business and things of that nature, of course, as well. There's a lot that goes into it, right? But a lot of smaller companies, again, one-man operations, even yours truly right here. When I first started my business, I did the same thing. I did a quick Google search. I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, I can build this thing into like a $200,000 business, on an annual basis in revenue. And then I can turn around and flip this thing for, close to $1 million or $800,000, right? Because the multipliers you'll see out there are anywhere between like 2.5 to 6, even some cases 7x annual revenue. So it's very easy for you to get deceived and to think that your business is actually worth way more than it actually is. The sad reality, and just is what it is if you have a company that's a one-man operation and say you got a maxed out route, if you have proper systems in place, you're using things like a good CRM, you have contracts, like you're building your business the right way. You're not just building something on pen and paper with horrible processes in place, hard to track, how much money you're even doing on an annually basis. assuming you have everything structured properly, you're going to at least have a fighting chance to get upwards of about 1 to 1.5x in terms of a revenue multiplier. So I know just hearing that alone is going to be shocking to a lot of you. And like I said, it's not just me. Like I said, do your own research, look into it heavily. Don't just do a quick Google search in terms of, oh, what is a pest control business worth? And, or, how to evaluate my pest control company. Because again, you're going to find those very generic statistics that are true. Like I said, once you get up past like a 500,000 plus, your multiplier is going to start increasing. Your business is just worth more. It is what it is. You have a lot more to offer than a one-man show that in a lot of cases are very disorganized, not structured properly, don't have any contracts in place, don't have very many, if any, commercial accounts. Just the things that the big boys that are actually buying up companies are looking for, unfortunately. So, I've even heard a couple of one-man shows going for as little as, 40 cents to 50 cents on the dollar, ones that are like super, disorganized and don't have a bunch of, good systems in place in terms of CRM and bookkeeping, like tracking the books and all that type of stuff. So, there's a lot of things that you have to consider. And I was actually chatting with one of you briefly, and like I told him, I'm not going to go into any details in terms of his specific situation, but what I wanted to at least bring to your all's attention is just some of the questions, like the whole point, the whole topic of the video, the title of the video is, some questions that you need to consider, and not just consider, you need to ask. Some of them are, can be seen as, tough questions, but guess what? This is business. We're not trying to build friendships. We're trying to build actual business relationships and, buy businesses. These are investments at the end of the day. I always compare it, when you're buying a business, people get kind of weird. They think, oh, you need to scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, this and that. And it's like, when you go buy stock on the New York Stock Exchange, in your little Robinhood or TD Ameritrade, whatever you're using for your Roth IRA, 401k, or, whatever you're using for buying stocks and things of that nature, do you go in and go, oh, I know that you lost money this year. I'm trying to think of a random company that lost money, GameStop. But you know what? You're right. Your stock's worth $24. Let me go ahead and overpay for your stock right now. Hell no. You go, that stock is overpriced. I'm not going to buy that junk at that price. So you got to use that same mindset when you're buying a business. I think it's something about once you see the people in person, we all have a heart. We all want to, we all wish best for people and all that type of stuff. At least those of us that have a heart, right? But at the end of the day, it's still business. So that's why, we got to ask these questions. And this is just scratching the surface that we're going to, break down in terms of just some of these questions that you need to ask. First and foremost is what is the NOI of the business? If you don't know what NOI is, it's just a simple, term. It just means net operating income, pretty much net profit, right? What is the actual profit of the business? Because say a business is doing, again, just making up some random numbers here. Say a business is doing, because we're talking one-man shows, let's say $200,000 a year, which is not, uncommon for a one-man show. There's lots of businesses doing $150,000 to $100,000 a year as a one-man operation. So let's say it's doing $200,000 in profit. But let's say you're, again, not tracking where the money's going, cash flow and all that type of stuff, and by the end of the year, you only have about $10,000, $20,000 of profit for whatever reason. You could be spending too much on marketing, spending too much on vehicles or equipment, or God knows what at the end of the day. Let's just say your profit is only, $20,000. So your net profit on a $200,000 business is only about 10%. Obviously, that's not very good. So, and of course, like we said, there's going to be a lot that goes into that. Some businesses' profit is going to look smaller on paper because if you're in a hyper growth state where you're hiring out door-to-door teams and you're maxing out your marketing budget, you're going upwards of like 20-30% all in on marketing, right? Of course, your profits are going to look smaller, and that's where, some companies will switch over to like things like EBITDA and things of that nature when it comes to evaluating a business. But again, we're talking more so the one-man show, because this is where a lot of companies if that's what we want to call them. I always call the one-man show, including myself, a glorified job, because until you start hiring people, all you do is you're owning your own job. You are the master, but you are the slave at the same time. Let's just keep it real. It is what it is, right? Until we start hiring full-time employees. So, if we see a business that's a one-man show doing $200,000 a year, but he's only, net profiting $20,000 or even $40,000, obviously we want to investigate further, see what's going on, things of that nature. Next question that you're going to want to ask is, what is the average LTV of the customer? What is LTV, lifetime value? So, how long, kind of a two-part with pest control specifically when we're talking about LTV. On one end, it's how long is a customer staying with us on average? Is it 2.5 years? Is it 1 year? Is it 13 years? Is it 5 years? That's one aspect of it, because obviously the longer a customer's with us, the more money they're spending with us as well. But another way to look at LTV in terms of customers is how much money is a customer spending with us under their lifetime value, with under their lifetime with us, if that makes sense. So from the moment they sign up with us to the moment they cancel or move or die or whatever the case may be, how much money are they spending with us as a pest control company? And again, this is gonna be not just for pest control businesses, but really any type of business, especially service businesses. We need to know, even companies that sell products, toothpaste companies, what is the average LTV of a customer? How many things of toothpaste are they buying with us as a customer? Very hard once you get into products and things like that. But again, we're talking pest control businesses right now. So it's very easy. And this is, again, where if you have proper systems in place, good CRMs and tracking and all this stuff, it's a lot easier to have all this data. The easier you make it to have this data and have it accurate, the more money you are going to get for your business, assuming the data is good. Because obviously, if your average LTV for a customer is, say, 8 months, and okay, well, how much money are you making over that 8 months? $300. Well, that's not very good, unfortunately. Why? Because we know the average cost per customer acquisition, which is another thing on here that you need to know and ask, what is your average cost per acquisition? Because again, if our average cost per acquisition is $200, which isn't uncommon, $150, $200, whatever number you want to pick, $200, and then our average LTV is $300, which is horrible, by the way. We're kind of thinking worst case scenario when we say 300. But we say $300, well, that's not good, obviously, because we have to pay a technician to go out there. Even if it's just you in the beginning, you have to pay yourself to go out there. You got wear and tear on the vehicle. You got the equipment costs. You got chemical costs. You got taxes. There's all these expenses that go into it. So if your LTV is 300, your cost per acquisition is 200, you have $100 left. And guess what? After all those expenses go, you're in the negative. So again, that's something that you need to take into consideration. Let's see, I'm trying to read off here some of these questions that, again, I sent to one of you guys that are looking at buying a business. Let's see. Or any of and this is an obvious one in my opinion, but, something that you may not think about in terms of LTV, just kind of piggybacking off of that. Are any of these customers under contract? And if so, how long is the contract? This is going to gear, when we talk about how long, this is going to gear more towards commercial accounts, because a lot of times you can get commercial accounts for obviously 1 year at the minimum, 2 years, 5 years, because a lot of times you can negotiate with some of these commercial accounts and tell them, look, we'll give you better pricing if you're willing to, sign this contract for 2 years or 5 years. Kind of like when you go rent a office space, right? The office space I rent from, they're willing to knock off a couple, $10 a month if you sign the lease for 2 years, and $25 a month if you're going to sign the lease for 3 years, and so on and so on. Same concept, right? So you want to know, okay, how many of your customers are under contract and how many are not. Again, because the ones that are not, they can cancel at any time. Say you take over the company, they don't like that company was bought out. If they're not under contract, they're gone. Where if they're under contract, then, they're obligated to, stay under contract and all this other stuff, obviously, right? In a lot of cases, there are legal ways they can get out of these contracts, especially over takeover, but, at least makes it more difficult. And, you want to make sure that you're going to lock in as much of that revenue because you're already going to lose a good amount of revenue. It always happens when a company takes over, even if it's a very soft takeover. Which I'll probably do future videos about as well, because that's something that for those of you that are looking to buy a pest control business or just buy a business in general, it's something good. There's stuff that's good to know about, like soft takeover versus like, rush take, well, what I classify as like a rush takeover or a fast takeover. Those things with like the marketing side and branding and all this stuff that can make it, subtle and seem, you're just kind of easing the customer. I compare it to that old saying, it's like boiling a frog, right? You boil it slow and it doesn't even notice. Same type of concept, but that, like I said, that's topic for a future video. But yeah, figure out how many of them are contract, if they're under contract at all. If you don't have them under contract whatsoever, again, your value is going down. It is what it is. At the minimum, service agreements, right? Next thing is, what's the average cancel rate over the last 2 to 5 years or however long the business has been in business? Obviously, if the business has only been in business for 3 years, we'll go over that 3 years, or we'll go like each individual year, whatever the case may be. But we want to know what's the average cancel rate. On top of that, what is the average reservice rate? Because again, we want to try to factor in how much it's going to cost to service a client and all this type of stuff, because we want to have as good of an idea of, again, what is this business actually worth? Is it worth kind of the bottom end where you're talking 50 cents on the dollar to a dollar, dollar per dollar annual revenue? Or is it structured very well, low maintenance clientele, everything just lines up perfectly, and, you're starting to increase what that business is worth? So, let's see, what's the next one we got here? What assets are involved? Obviously, are vehicles paid off? Is equipment paid off? Like just what is involved in terms of the assets, obviously. And then when it comes to like branding and marketing and things of that nature, are you getting their website or like access to the website? Are you taking over everything, right? Like you should be obviously taking over everything. But when I say that, some people don't think about other things like, who do they have hired out currently for things like managing their website or managing their Google business profile, the whole SEO side of things? Like, would it be that when you take over, is it a website that is owned solely by the SEO company? And if you don't decide you want to keep that SEO company, website disappears overnight, right? Obviously, that's not valuable whatsoever. And so, because people don't think about, I call them digital assets, things like your website, Google business profile, Facebook profile, TikTok, YouTube, all this stuff has value for a business, assuming, again, you're using it properly, optimizing it, things of this nature, because you want it to be producing leads for your business, producing customers, and things of that nature. So, definitely get every ounce of information when it comes to, the website management, the overall social media management, all that type of stuff. And then, like we said, of course, how optimized are these things? Are these things not touched whatsoever? Has the company been in business 40 years and has 2 reviews, and one's from your wife and the other's from a family member? Like, are these things optimized? Are they generating leads? How many leads per month are they generating organically? Again, this is just a short list. This isn't everything. This is just a short list of things that you must consider when you're looking at starting, or not starting, but purchasing a pest control business. And like I said, really any business for that matter, especially service-based businesses, plumbing businesses, HVAC businesses, pest control businesses. Like I said, any of these type of businesses, these are things that you just have to ask and have to find the details out over. And if they don't have the answers, pretty much off the top of their head, or if they can't like pull a couple reports and figure it out, then you got a lemon, unfortunately. You got something that's not worth buying. Let's see. Shout out some of y'all in the chat so far. Josh Moeller. Oh, nice to see you again, sir. It's been a while. Great info so far. Yeah, no. We're just, like I said, this is, again, just a short list. What I might end up doing for you guys when I have some time, maybe this fall or winter when it slows down just a little bit, is create like a little PDF checklist of like things to figure out before buying a pest control business. Because, like I was telling one of you guys earlier today, like, this isn't a game. Like, this is stuff that can literally bankrupt you depending on your financial situation. Like, you don't, when you're talking tens of hundreds or in some cases millions of dollars on the line, you don't want to make a mistake here. Like, this can ruin your life. Like, business is not a game. Taking over businesses, purchasing businesses, it is not a game. I mean, it is a game to a degree. I compare it to Monopoly all the time, but it can ruin your life. It can bankrupt you. Like, it's not something that, you want to play with or anything. Let me see. How's it going there, Stony? Um, let's see. He says, can customer cancel contract anytime? Yeah, that's one of the things that we were just talking about. You have to have the contract details. Is it just a service agreement that's kind of a month-to-month billing, subscription type of model? Or is it a actual 12-month contract, 24-month contract, whatever type of contract it is? You must find out those contract details. Otherwise, the contract isn't worth anything. If it's just a standard service agreement that they can cancel at any time, then it's not really worth anything. Now, I'm not going to say not worth anything. It's just it's worth pennies compared to the ones that, obviously, the longer the contract, the more value that contract has. Justin said, I've been waiting 4 weeks or so for Gorilla to update my contract. That's funny you mentioned that. I was just chatting with their support about wanting to either A, update one of their current contracts that are on there, or B, uploading my own. They've been waiting on me to email them back, so we're reverse in our situations in this case. But that's actually interesting. I have heard I heard someone said about a year ago that it took them about 3 weeks to get theirs uploaded. So I know it's not something that happens overnight. But 4 weeks, I would hit them up on, I would hit them up on their support on the app or whatever, because during business hours, they're usually responsive pretty quickly. So I would hit them up there. Didn't know you can update your own. Update your own. Oh, are you saying like whenever I was telling them that I want specific updates for ones that are already on their system? Because that's what I was referring to. Like, there's, for example, what's called Texas Pest Control Service Agreement, and there's some things in there verbiage wise that I don't like that I was wanting removed, and then some terminology that I wanted put in for our business, and it was just some minor tweaks, nothing crazy, but they were telling me that, just let us know what you want taken out and put in, and I'll, send it up to the team and let you know if we can get that taken care of. I haven't sent that to them yet. So that's something that I need to get on doing, because, yeah, it's just like I said, some little details that have been brought up by customers that, when I describe it, in person, and then they see the service agreement, they're like, wait, I thought you said yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a gentleman's agreement type of thing, essentially. But yeah, I mean, like I said, just to kind of recap, this is going to be kind of like one of the shorter streams of the week so far that we've had. Unless if you guys have any questions, because of course the Q&A, or the Q&As, the live streams are Q&A based specifically. So I guess since we kind of finished up the topic for now, like I said, I just wanted to come to you guys specifically with some questions that you must ask before you even consider purchasing a pest control company. If you're just tuning in, rewind back roughly, 15 minutes, I would say 15 to 20 minutes, because we started just breaking down kind of question by question that you must ask. And then if you guys have any questions, it doesn't even have to be about the topic. If it is, cool. But if you have any questions about, just anything, starting a business, buying a business, growing it, whatever the case may be, I will open the floor up to you guys here for a few minutes, and then I guess if we don't have any questions or anything like that, then we'll probably go ahead and wrap it up. Of course, if you're tuning in for the first time and you're wondering who the heck is this guy, my name is Griffin Thomas. Of course, I own my own pest control company, Preferred Pest Management, in the Dallas, Texas area. We've been in business for about 4 years now. I took that business from 0 to 6 figures in my first year, and we're just slowly but steadily, moving on up to that 7-figure range. We're actually going to be looking at hopefully purchasing at least one. I want to try it out, see how it goes. I know it's going to be stressful and all that, but it's just part of the game if you really want to grow to that 7, 8 figure level. That's why I was like, this is a great topic to speak about because, like I told this guy who messaged me on IG, Instagram a little while ago, I was like, dude, you're like the 4th person to ask this question recently. And I was like, a lot of you guys are like gonna get fucked. Like, excuse my language, but I mean, you are. I mean, some of these numbers that I'm hearing, not just from him, but from other people. Like I said, even in my own family, like I watched my own cousin almost buy a company for close to $100,000 that's worth maybe $30,000 to $40,000. Like, why would, again, going back to the example of buying a stock, would you buy a stock that you know for a fact is worth $10 based on, all the analytics? It's worth $10. Would you purchase it for 18 or would you purchase it even for 12? No, you're going to wait for a pullback and then go ahead and buy. Similar concept. Like, you're either going to let the owner come back to reality. Now, is there some negotiation and what you think is worth versus what they think it's worth, and we meet somewhere in the middle? Of course, like, there's always some negotiation. But if someone thinks their one-man operation is worth $200,000 and that, dude, the math ain't mathin', bro, it's worth about 50, there's a good chance that you're just not gonna, they're gonna come down to like 100 and you would be dumb as hell to come up to 100, right? And again, that's just that's just a made up hypothetical example there. But even in the example of my own family, which I took a lot of heat for, but that's the beauty of living 600 miles away. I don't give a shit if they're mad. They'll get over it. And that's what I told my cousin, because he's like, man, a lot of people think that I backed out because of you. This was years ago now, but he was like, a lot of people think I backed out because of you, blah, blah, blah. And then when I literally sat down and explained to each person the math, they were like, oh, yeah, I guess that does kind of make sense now. I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like, because they thought I wanted the business and it was a jealousy thing because we're all family. You know how family is, right? But I was just like, no, I just know how to do math. I'm a business owner. I know how to do math, and this is a bad deal. And that is why he has not since sold the company to anyone. He had another 2 guys reach out to him. I love him. He's my grandfather, but he's boneheaded and stuck in his ways. He thinks it's worth way more than it's worth, and no one's bought the company. And now, coincidentally, he's trying to build it so he can hopefully get it sold for what he needs for retirement and all that. But like I told everyone up there, I was like, this is a business. This isn't about friendships, about oh, well, I really need this. Like, no one really cares, unfortunately, what you need. They care about what it's worth and paying good market value for it. That is what it is, unfortunately. Let's see. Wow, that's amazing. Chance, how's it going? How's it going? He says, would it make a difference that the company is an LLC or S corp? No. So S corp, or yeah, you said S corp. Yeah, S corp. All that is, and I've broken this down once before, I believe, maybe more at this point. But so all that the S corp is your filing status. So, for example, I'm an S corp, but I'm also an LLC. We're Preferred Pest Management LLC. That's giving us all those legal protections, assuming you don't break the the whole. For example, do not put any personal transaction on your business account. Otherwise, you lose pretty much all your LLC protections. You got an LLC for no reason. But assuming you're doing everything how you're supposed to, you have a bunch of protections in place with the LLC. Now, obviously, there's more to it to get, best protection and all that. I'm not a legal expert or anything. So I'm just giving you like quick overview of the differences, how they're not like remotely even in the same category, so to speak. LLC is, your business, how do I describe it? Your business entity, we'll just call it. Your S Corp or your sole proprietorship or whatever the case may be is just your tax filing status for the business and for yourself. So, for example, Once you hit, like this is what we did because, you know, our accountant and business, whatever you want to call it, like a business lawyer or whatever, attorney, that's what we're business attorney. Everyone said, you're at the point you need to go ahead and, you know, start filing as an S Corp, which takes a whole lot of paperwork, increase your accounting costs like crazy, which is why it makes sense that they say you shouldn't do it until you're at least $50,000 in net profit, not gross profit, 50,000 in net profit per year before it makes sense to file as an S corp. All that it is you're moving the money around for tax purposes. So as an S corp, especially as a single member S corp, where you're the owner, you're the operator, you own 100% of the stock of the business, all that type of stuff. What'll happen is say you do, we'll just use a random example, $150,000 a year, right, in total sales. And then your net profit comes out to, let's just say, 75,000, or you know what, we'll even just say 70,000 for easy math. So you have $70,000 of profit. If you were a normal, you weren't an S corp, you were just a sole proprietor, even though you're an LLC, that doesn't matter for your tax purposes. As a single member LLC, you are taxed as a sole proprietor. So with that, you are essentially being double taxed. We could go into all the percentages and everything, but you get screwed on taxes big time because of, you know, you got to pay them at the end of the day, and it's just ridiculous, all the taxes you got to pay. Where when you move over to the S Corp side, you then take what's called a reasonable salary, which, you know, rule of thumb is usually at the bare minimum 30 to upwards of like 50%, or in some cases more. Again, talk to your accountant about that. I'm not an accountant, legal expert, blah, blah, blah. I pay my accountant close to $3,000 a year, so I don't got to put up and do any of this stuff. But, and like I said, once you become an S Corp, it costs a lot more money. But in terms of the taxes and all that. But you have your reasonable salary, and then the remaining of that profit is passed through the business. The S Corp is not taxed. The S Corps are not taxed at all. So that profit goes through as essentially one big tax-free dividend, because the profit doesn't just disappear. It has to go somewhere. So it goes through to the owners of the company as a tax-free dividend, if that makes sense. So like I said, it doesn't make it worth more or anything. It doesn't affect the structure of the company or anything like that really whatsoever. All that it is a tax filing status that does also, by the way, make it easier for you to take investors on up to, like, I forget how many, 10 or 100, I forget the exact number, but it makes it easier to actually divide up your company from a percentage standpoint if you decide to bring on investors. But that's a whole other subject when it comes to the S Corp side of things. Again, I would talk to an accountant about it more specifically, more in depth, you know, depending on the situation, which, you know, all it is it's going to save you some money on taxes more than anything. How's it going there, Richo Cat? What would you guess at what... Let me read this again. What would you guess at what value or revenue point, whatever, would a large company seek to buy out a small operation in a rural area? The rural area part doesn't really matter as much as you would think. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter at all, but it's not something that I would like stress out over. So to get their attention, though, I mean, you definitely, I mean, if you're talking rural area, there's probably not a lot of competition. So at the minimum, I would just say you obviously want to dominate that area. You want to be one of the main 3 companies in the area. You know, if you type in pest control, whatever town that's located in, you want to be in the top 3 of like the Google Map pack and things of that nature. You want to do stuff that's going to get their attention. And you'll know when you're getting their attention because you're going to start getting mail from other companies. Like I've gotten mail from a company named Ardent, which is I can start name dropping and let you guys know how big these companies are. How big is Ardent Pest Control? Ardent Pest Control was number 64 on the PCT Top 100 with a $12.6 million in yearly revenue. which is up from 8.3 million, the number 92 spot. So that was one company that sent us mail asking about, are we interested in selling? Another one recently, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on their name. Oh my gosh, that's making me so annoyed. Wow. That just ruined that whole point. The whole point I was trying to make. The whole point, though, that I was trying to make is that, you will start getting attention. Like, you'll start getting letters in the mail from them saying things, they're trying to butter you up. Like, hey, we see that you're doing great things. And, if you're ever looking at selling and, want to keep your company culture and this and that and the other, keep us in mind. They'll start buttering you up. Like, they're not just going to call you up one day and, hey, you want to sell your business? Like, they're going to make you usually reach out to them. They're going to give you some contact information where if you do want to sell, then you have some contact information, usually like an email, a phone number, and then an address that you could like send mail to yourself, like response mail. To answer the other part of that question in terms of revenue, that's going to be, I wish there was one cookie cutter answer to that, but it's going to just vary depending on your market, unfortunately. Now, if we were talking like a starting baseline, I would say probably $200,000 a year. But again, that's going to vary so widely based on what specific region you are in. Miami, Florida is going to be different than Kansas City, Missouri. And Kansas City, Missouri is going to be way different than Dallas, Texas. Like, every region is going to be different. But I would probably say if you want like a average baseline just to kind of start getting on the map is probably somewhere around bare minimum $100,000 to $200,000. And again, like I said, that's not like a cookie cutter answer. So nobody come at me in the comments later talking about, I had like $200,000 business and I couldn't get. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's how it is everywhere. I'm just saying like, just kind of trying to give you some kind of baseline. Let's see. How's it going there? Mark Hamilton. I plan on starting my own pest control business. Do you offer any kind of advice? Do you offer any kind of advice that you could put on paper for my needs? I'm licensed already. Good. Over 10 years of experience. Great. Have a small foundation. Dude, in all honesty, I don't know if you're like newer to the channel, but in all honesty, just go to my channel, go to the couple playlists like business growth, things I wish I knew when I started my pest control business. What's the other one? Maybe real life entrepreneurship with Griffin Thomas. What else? There's a couple playlists like on the channel, the Google Ads series, marketing, like all those playlists. Literally just play them on repeat, and you will pretty much learn everything that I have learned over my 4 years, 3 to 4 years in business. So, and then, of course, you can join our Facebook groups, our Discord group. Discord has way more members than Facebook. We started the Facebook like just a year or so ago now, but we're up to like 120, 130 members in there. The Discord group, like I said, is much bigger. It's like 200 to 300 people in there now. So definitely, join those, pick the brains of people in there. And then, like I said, everything that I know, I pretty much put on this channel. I've had a lot of people ask about like, one-on-one, what's the word I'm looking for? Man, I'm having total brain farts tonight. I'm zapped. It's been a long week already. Man, what is the word I'm looking for? Like just one-on-one shit ultimately where like we, go over stuff for an hour and all that type of stuff. And I did it very briefly last year when I had some time, but my time is just becoming so valuable now, and I don't feel it's a moral thing for me. Like, I don't feel okay charging for that type of stuff the amount that I would have to charge, because it's to the point where it's like $500 an hour, just to put it in perspective. Like, and I don't want you guys paying that, because like I said, I put all this shit on YouTube and all that for free. Like, all you gotta do is invest time. Like I always talk about on this channel. A lot of it is just time, learning, try, fail, try, fail, try, succeed, try, succeed, try, fail, try, succeed. Like, it's just a matter of doing it day in, day out, and learning from mistakes, learning from other people's mistakes specifically, which is why I'm all about posting the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that works, doesn't work, all that type of stuff. And yeah, hopefully it helps. So let me know, like, if you need more, if like you have a different question or something. But maybe I'll write a book someday or something whenever I start hiring some more like help. Justin said, I'm really curious. Have you taken a business loan? How many years have you been in business when you got it? So I have taken a couple business loans technically, but not really. They weren't ever used for my business. So on on Stripe, the payment processor we use, you can actually take loans out. They will do it. They'll send you an email saying you qualify for X amount of money. Like right now, for example, if I go into my Stripe account, but I, to be honest, have used them as debt consolidation loans. I don't anymore because the interest has gotten out of control. They don't charge APR, is what I like about it. They just have a one-time fixed fee that they'll charge you. And at one point, it was only like 4 to 5% back when interest rates were, reasonable. Now it's like upwards of 10 to 15%. Now, like I said, it is a one-time fee. So if you have other debt or if you have other business debt, that equals more than that fixed fee, it's just some simple math you got to do, then of course, go ahead and go that route. The one thing with it is they take how it gets paid back is they take a certain percentage out of your account for like every dollar that you make. So say you do $1,000 in credit card transactions, right? Say you took this max loan out that they're offering for $26,400 right now. They would take 20% per transaction. So if you did $1,000 in sales, they're going to take $200 to repay towards that loan. If that makes sense. There's 60-day minimums too. So if you don't hit the 60-day minimum, they will withdraw out of your business checking account that remaining amount. Now, I personally have never had an issue with that, with like the repayment. As a matter of fact, just to give you all some perspective, the one that we're finishing paying off right now, our minimum is to pay, what's the minimum? $2,151 over 60 days. Last pay period, quote unquote, payback period, we did over $7,300 towards that loan. So, and again, I was just using it as debt consolidation because, why not? I mean, any money that I'm saving in interest, I can put into the business. So, but in terms of actual business loans to grow the business, as of now, no, I have not. The only time I probably ever will is to actually buy out a business, which is why this subject is becoming more and more important to me to talk about, because I see so many people getting ready to pull the trigger on buying a bad business that is not worth anything but a soda can and a couple beers for hundreds of thousands of dollars that can literally bankrupt you. How's it going there, Adrian Gonzalez? Welcome, welcome. And by the way, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. If you are, I see we only got one like so far. Hopefully there's more of you that are enjoying it and taking valuable information from it. If you are, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, of course, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You know the gist. That way you don't miss any of our live streams or videos that we publish for you guys on a weekly basis. I thought you said Orkin. No, when I was talking about companies buying. Not yet. I've had some bigger ones reach out, but not, mostly like regional companies. How's your day going? Good. Nice to see you here again. Damn, dude, 200,000. Oh yeah, talking about those minimum. I mean, like I said, that's not like. Again, I started getting letters when I only hit like my first 90. Before I even hit one full year in business, I was getting a couple letters from people. I had hit like 90,000. I hadn't even hit my first 100,000 in business yet. But again, our shit is so optimized, our Google business profile and things of that nature, that when they Google businesses in these suburbs and they see, bam, preferred pest management #1, I just saw we had a bunch of y'all drop off. Hopefully there's not an issue with the stream or anything, but if there is, definitely let me know. We good? Anyways, yeah. Master's license. Hughes Outdoor says master's license. What do you mean by master's license? Harkins Aquatic says currently transitioning from operator to an industry job. I want to start a business just to keep my licenses. Good or bad idea? I would say good, especially if you plan on, a prime example of this is my brother. He still works a full-time job, but he had his pest control license, just got certified and everything, and he wanted to make sure that he didn't lose that license in case if he wants to someday start his own business and take it full time. So what he ended up doing was, it does cost money still, obviously, because you have to have insurance and all this other stuff, yearly expenses that he has to pay for. But he went ahead and opened up the business, the LLC, all that good stuff. So, it's not a bad idea, but, think about if it's something that you really want to do in the future. Hi from New York. How's it going, New York in the house? 800 Raccoon. Let's see. Justin said, I didn't know you can get a loan from Stripe. I use them too. Yeah, usually they'll send you an email, trying to bait you like, hey, you qualify for up to X amount of dollars in business funding. Like I said, be very careful with it. If you're going to take one out, aim for one that's going to take less than 10% of your cash flow, because once you start getting over 10 to 15% of your business cash flow that they're taking out, it just starts to become suffocating. I mean, like I told you guys, just within the last 60 days, they took over $7,000 to repay towards that loan. Now, of course, it did benefit us because we wiped out a bunch of debt and other things that, we just had going on. But, it sucks whenever, I'm getting down towards the end of it. It's like 72% paid off now, and I'm just like counting down the dollars and the days. I'm like, man, I cannot wait for this thing to be paid off, like to get my $3,000 to $4,000 a month back. So yeah, that's one tip that I have for sure. Do you use a CRM product or a routing product? Oh yeah, absolutely. We use GorillaDesk. I actually have quite a few videos on like GorillaDesk tutorials, review, thing of that nature. Just recently, within the last couple months, they actually started hooking my viewers up with a referral link. Essentially, it's in the description box of all my videos and live streams. Actually, if you want to try it out, you get the pro version for 14 days for free. I don't even think they make you put your credit card, debit card, or anything like that in there. It's 14-day free trial of their pro version, which is normally like $100 a month. You get it 2 weeks for free. And then if you don't like it, you can cancel it. Or if you do like it, then of course at that point you'd pay for it. They do have other options too. Like they have a $49 a month version, which is kind of like the bare bones version. It does have enough for you to at least operate, but if you plan on, like I said, kind of growing your business and you want the route optimizing tools and all that different type of stuff, connecting it to your QuickBooks and all this other stuff, then that's where you'd want that $99 version. I've used the $99 version pretty much since I started my business, and I haven't had any issues with it. And then we also use OpenPhone as well, which is just, a cell phone software for separating work and life. Like we have a whole separate phone number and everything. Let's see. I have used Stripe Credit. They take 25% of every trade. Yeah. And the one that I have right now, it's like right at 19 to 20%. And that's the highest of one that I've ever taken. It all depends on how much of the loan you can take, or that you decide to take, that is, because you can move the little toggle and decide how much you want to take. Like say they're offering you $10,000, but they want to take 20%, for example. You can lower it down and say, hey, I only want 5, and they'll take like 10 or 11%, right? So it all depends. Again, they calculate all that based on the risk, the size of your company, the stability, your cash flow month to month, all that type of stuff. And they don't do it. Actually, that's a lie because it's linked to your business banking account. They do it based off of the money going into your bank account as well as the money that's going through Stripe, of course. I've sold an aquatic business and my new owner is killing it. That's awesome. There are so many companies and private equity trying to get a piece of the pie. I feel like if you want to stay in the industry for any term it makes sense, I'm also one of the best bird technicians in Vegas. So I figure if I just do weekend work, making money just doing bird. Yeah. Where are you located? I'm located in the Dallas, Texas area. My business specifically is in a suburb called Plano, Texas, which is like just north of Dallas. It's pretty much in Dallas at this point. If you know anything about the Dallas, Texas area, DFW, it's like its own state at this point. It's probably about a 15-minute drive or so from Dallas. I know where that is. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people do anymore. It's an area that a lot of people are moving to. It's starting to become way overpopulated, especially with Californians. But yeah, no. The business actually. I started the business in Garland, Texas, which is not too far from Plano, of course. And then when we moved it to Rowlett, Texas, which was 10 minutes away. And then whenever we moved out to our recent home out here in what I call the boonies, we moved the business location to an actual physical office in the North Plano, in between Allen and Plano, Texas. Do you service Anna? No, not yet. I was actually just talking to another pest control business owner that I keep in touch with almost on a daily basis who is actually located in Wiley, Texas. He goes out to like Anna, Melissa, Prosper, all this stuff way up north of Highway 380. And I was like, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, but until we start getting, because most of our route density is in Plano, Rowlett, Texas, right along, again, if you know the Dallas, Texas area, right along President George Bush Highway is where most of our route density is. And then now we actually have quite a bit starting to develop, I noticed, in the Rockwall, Texas area as well. Let's see. My sister-in-law lives out there, and mosquitoes are vicious. Yeah, the mosquitoes are ridiculous, especially with all the rain that we've gotten this year. Yeah, Anna, Texas is blowing up too. I keep saying Dallas, Texas is pretty much gonna go all the way up to the Oklahoma border before they stop building up. Essentially, I mean, even Anna, Texas, it's only about an hour and a half from the Oklahoma border. I mean, shoot, it's crazy how much is built up out that way, and now it's all shifting out east to where we're at. The town that we are in was actually the #1 rated town in terms of overall growth last year. This town that I live in grew by what was like 128% last year, which again, it was a very small town, so 128% of something that's very small is still pretty small, right? But yeah, it's crazy out here. A lot of business for sure. But yeah, if we don't have any other questions, like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy the live stream and are enjoying it. If you did, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. I see we got 2 likes. We've had as many as like 10 to 12 of you in here at one point. If you did enjoy it and you learned some valuable information, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up button. That's all I can ask. And if you know anybody that you think could actually benefit from this, which I'm sure everyone does, because I've ran into 5 or 6 people already recently that could benefit from it, share it with them too. Just hit that little share button and send it to them and say, hey, watch this shit. You need to learn this, that way you don't make this mistake. And then, like I said, of course, if you're not already subscribed, do me a favor and subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff. That way you won't miss any of the future live streams that we do. I try to schedule them when I can, but during the spring, summer, and early fall months, I just kind of hop on when I have time to hop on. And we've been lucky. We've been able to go live, like 4 days in a row. I'm trying to get back into a habit of, hey, let's just hop on 30 minutes to an hour a day, hammer out some questions, some topics, anything that I've learned, all that type of stuff. I'm gonna have to rewatch. Yeah, we went over, like I said, a lot of questions that you need to ask when you're gonna buy a pest control business for sure. That's awesome. Route density is key. My aquatics business had 364 customers doing 1.25, but 50% was within 40 miles. Yeah, 40 miles isn't too bad, depending on how much of it's like highway traffic and stuff. Yeah, I have some customers as far as Flower Mound, Texas, which is not great, but we'll build up out there, which is why I still take the work out there. It's cool that you can live stream all this. Recently, I have no time for it. Yeah. No, I mean, technically speaking, man, if you all learned how bad my work life balance is, you'd be like, dude, how have you not had a stroke by now? Or a heart attack or whatever. I mean, even my own dad, he had a heart attack at like 38 years old, and he's constantly telling me, like, dude, slow down, slow down. And I'm like, dude, I'll slow down when I die. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a sleeper. I got to get my 5 to 8 hours a night, but um, you know, when I'm awake, building business, building connections, helping people build their business, like, or even just getting started in the business, because that's my favorite part of the journey is watching. I've lost track now of how many of you guys, the one that pops up in my mind the most is a guy, his username on YouTube is My World. He was one of the first people I started commenting on my pest control business content specifically back in like 2021, 2022. And like I still remember like when he first hopped in and was like, yeah, I just started my business. He watched the content for like 3 months or so, and then he started his business. And then last we heard from him, he's so busy he can't even hardly keep up with like our YouTube content anymore. So it's just great and just awesome to see you guys like actually not just watching the content, but putting the content into place in terms of implementing what I tell you guys, and just making shit happen. Watch you guys go from 0 to 6. Some of y'all are already at like 7 figures, a lot bigger than me even. If I didn't do so much YouTube, I could probably grow even more. But I the reason a lot of people ask me, why do you focus so much on YouTube when you don't really make any money off of it? Because just be real with you guys, I only make like $2 a day off of YouTube. Like, YouTube doesn't pay shit. And you don't even get paid until you hit $100 in a month. So like last month, the YouTube channel made like $80. I won't get paid on anything from YouTube until the end of July. So just to put in perspective, like, I don't really make anything for doing this stuff. It's just before I even started my own pest control business, we had just had our first daughter, which wasn't, I mean, obviously when you F around, you find out, but she wasn't really expected. Ultimately, my wife was on birth control and everything, but, shit happens, right? And we were still very young, like 21 years old, I believe, and not even really in a great financial spot. I was just getting started at Terminex, but I had the vision already. I was like, I'm going to start my business. We're going to get the business going, then have some kids, and so on and so on. But of course, like the saying goes, where you make a plan, the Lord sees a joke ultimately and laughs at you. But the whole point was I was real down bad one night. Just, was kind of, looking back on it, I was naive and, kind of ungrateful for the life that I did have still. But I was sitting in bed one night and not crying or nothing, but just down bad, just like really kind of hating on everything in my life at that time. And I was just like, God, like, what I want to do, but, it may not be what you want me to do, what my will is, what your will is, that is. But I was like, but I'll make this promise with you. And I wasn't even Christian yet. I wasn't like, I believed in God, but I wasn't like religious at all. I'm still not religious. I always say I'm not a religious person. I'm just a follower of Christ ultimately. But at that point, I was just like, God, Spirit, whoever you are, I was like, if you give me the tools and you give me the drive, you give me the discipline, you give me the motivation, whatever it is that I need to build a business that is successful, or businesses, or whatever your will is for me in my life, You take me there, and I will give that information away however you see fit. You let me know, through a vision or whatever the case may be. And I was already doing some YouTube content at the time. If you actually go all the way back through all my 900 or whatever many videos we got, you'll see I was already posting YouTube content for like stock market related stuff, trading stocks, things of that nature. And, like I said, I pretty much just made a promise with God. I was like, you bless me with all the tools and the drive and all this to make shit happen. I will bless everyone with all the information that I learn at no cost. And that's why, like, I don't get mad at you guys, because, like I said, I have a lot of you guys hit me up wanting, like, consulting services. That's the word I was looking for earlier, consulting. Wanting, like, consulting services and courses and this and that. And I'm not getting, like, mad at you guys for wanting that. I'm just like, dude, like, I'm trying to put it all on here for free. You just got to simply go through and watch every single video that's on here, and you'll learn all the information that I'm getting. Like, as I get information that I'm like, oh shit, like, that's a breakthrough, I document it and put it on YouTube as soon as possible. So, like, yes, I did finally cave in and make a course for people that were wanting, like, a Google Ads course specifically. But, like I always say, it's not needed. You don't need it. All of it's already on. Pretty much all of it. There's, like, one little nugget on there that I need to upload on YouTube, actually. But pretty much all of it is on YouTube already. You just got to go search through the videos and take your notes and implement it at the end of the day. So that's a quick little soapbox of why I do what I do over here on YouTube. Like I said, I'm just fulfilling my end of the deal that I made with God. And like I said, I'm not even done. We ain't finished. Like Kobe said, job ain't finished. There ain't nothing to be happy about. Job ain't finished. But, like I said, just documenting everything along the way. And, if it can help you all out, then, that's great. Let's see. Are you going? Did I miss some up here? Let's see. Just entering all the damn material. What tool are you using for that? I know I have on GorillaDesk. You put in your chemicals once, and then you're pretty much done. That's the other cool thing about GorillaDesk. I need to do like a little YouTube short about that, because a lot of softwares don't even offer this. On GorillaDesk, say you have a customer with a recurring job, like quarterly service, right? When you go to the next quarterly service, you can hit a option that says pull from previous service, and it will pull the chemical from that you entered in, 2.5 gallons of, temperate, for example, 6 ounces of Niban, right? Whatever you use, it'll pull all that stuff into the next work order as well. Obviously, if you put like Avion ant gel this time, you still got to add that, but yeah. And then someone said something about Pest World. Oh, you said, are you going to be at Pest World? Probably not this year. I really wanted to make it for the Hawaii one, but, like I mentioned in that video about my $25,000 mistake, that definitely kept us from going to Pest World in Hawaii. Whenever it's in another, what I call a destination location, that'll probably be when I go. Denver, Colorado is hard for me to get amped up for. I've been to Denver, Colorado twice in my life, and it's hard to get amped up about that. I love your shit. It's literally all the same shit my mentor told me. Are you paying somebody for that? I hope not. Because I feel like I said, I feel like the information I give is good and all, but, until I get to that 7-8 figure level, there's almost a little bit of imposter syndrome that sets in. Let's see. I really love the Boardroom Buzz podcast for other business ideas. I've never heard of that one. I'll have to look it up. Once I end the stream, I'm going to screenshot that part of the chat so I can look it up. I worked with a Copeson provider and was helping Terminex when Rent-A-Kill took over. I killed Copeson and I lost my... Oh, man, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I've heard not a lot of good things about that takeover, unfortunately. I also tried to trade stocks, options. Yeah. Yeah, that's a journey. It's definitely it takes money to make money game for sure. I had my best success in trading with trading futures just because like I used a tool towards the end of my time trading stocks. I used a tool called Ninja Trader, and you could actually set up an automated bot, like an algorithm bot, essentially. And what I would do is I would just have it every point the stock market moved. Um, like there was a very tight profit loss window that I built in. Like there would be times when the market was really volatile that, I would literally hit submit trade because you still had to actually, it wasn't a full on bot, but it was like just a little programmed deal in terms of it had a stop loss set and then it had a profit cover, you know, if that makes sense. I know this isn't like a stock market video or anything, but so all I would have to do essentially is hit the enter button and it would enter the trade at the market price. And then what it would do whenever the market was super volatile is it would feel like as soon as I hit the enter button, it'd be like trade complete. And I'd be like, what? I was like, how the hell did that trade already close? And then sure enough, it'd be like profit $50, profit 12.50, profit 50, loss 25, profit 30, or not 30. It was never 30. It'd be, let me see, 12.50. 37.50. That was fun, but very stressful too because, like I said, the market was volatile. So if you weren't keeping up with it, you would get in a hole pretty quickly. But that's something where I'll probably, like I said, I plan on long term on this channel, kind of posting some more of that content again as I start becoming a little bit more hands off the field work and I have time to actually sit at my desktop, do work, and if I see some good entries, then why not double dip and make some money at the end of the day? We are a new company, only really been in business since January. I have so many new customers. That's awesome. What are you using, by the way, like to get your customers? Are you using, like the Google local services? Are you using any lead generation, or are you just kind of doing the local SEO and all that stuff that we talk about? Let's see. I'm going to Pest World. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, like I said, I mean, if it was in a slightly more destination like type of venue, I would 100% go. I really wanted to go to the Pest World Hawaii so bad last year, but you make bad mistakes, you gotta, there's consequences for it. So we weren't able to go, but if they end up doing one, say in like Florida, or dare I say, California, any of these, like, on a beach area, something like that, then I'll probably go again. I saw they had one in Dubai, if I remember right, too, a while back, like what, maybe a couple years ago, if I remember right. So, yeah, it's always interesting to see where they decide to host that event. Let's see. No, I don't pay for anything. I call him my mentor because he's just been the best support for me and my brothers. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. No, it's never a bad thing to have someone in your corner like that. Like the guy that I mentioned on this channel various times, who owns a pest control business not too far from me at all. We actually worked for the same company, the same branch at Terminex, and he started probably what about 3 years before me, and he was kind of my quote unquote mentor for like the basic stuff, getting the LLC set up, getting the DBA set up, getting your business insurance, setting up your CEU courses. He introduced me to GorillaDesk, as a matter of fact. Like I said, just really was really a lot of help for that early stage. And we laugh a lot of times because he'll be like, "Man, the mentoree has become the mentor." Because I'll tell him like, "Dude, no, you need to do this, this, and that with like your Google business and all that." And yeah, like it's just funny. Like we're at a level where like we're just kind of helping each other out where we can, type of thing. Let's see if you're ever in your Discord group. Oh, if you're ever voicing in your Discord group, I want to be there. I got so much to talk to you about. Yeah, no, yeah, I've talked about doing that too, and we've never done it. Going live like in the Discord voice chat. Maybe that's what we'll do, since everybody seems like they want a quote unquote mastermind so bad too. Because, like I said, I've had so many people, like, I say so many, it's been like a dozen, maybe 10 to 12 of you, ask about that. That maybe, like, what we'll do is we'll set up like a separate server that's like for, owners only that are, serious, right? Like people that are actually serious, and maybe we'll do like a weekly voice only chat, and if it's not Discord, then maybe on Zoom or whatever the case may be, something where like we just have a literal mastermind of business owners only that, we all just meet up once a month, and maybe we'll start hosting events and things of that nature, see where it goes type of thing. But like only for the business owners only, like people that are serious, to make sure that we wouldn't get any knuckleheads in there. We'd probably have to charge some sort of fee for it, I'm sure, but we would figure something out to try to make it worthwhile for everybody. Let's see. I use Google Ads, not the Google local ads. I don't like Facebook ads, me either. um, I've started using Adexo. They use AI to make my Google ads better. Little expensive. Were we? Oh, dude, that is so funny you mentioned that. I started Adexo with optimizing Facebook ads. Same here. Um, I used them late last year, as a matter of fact. I took that off, but I'm still getting leads from that because I have extra credits left. Oh, but pretty much my leads come from Facebook and Google. Google local ads is expensive for the leads. I don't. Yeah, that is true. The lead cost for Google local's gotten out of control. But I'm interested to hear more about this Adexo with Google Ads, because that was actually one of their quote unquote selling points that they were trying to keep me on, because I canceled my service with them. Because the Facebook ads, like I said, I mean, I've done like a review about them, I believe, recently, like a few months ago, probably 5, 6 months ago now. And, they weren't bad people or anything like that. My issue was the lead quality we were getting was just god awful from the Facebook ads. It was mostly very, very, very cheap people that, just couldn't really afford the service ultimately. And I gave them an honest try too. Like, I didn't run it for a month and said, "Oh, this sucks." Like, I ran it for like 3 or 4 months, and it just wasn't good. And then, like you said, with the Google Ads part of it, they were like, "Oh, we're getting ready to launch Google Ads as well, where we can actually manage your Google ad campaign." And I was like, "Well, I mean, I already know how to manage my own Google Ads. I do relatively good on that." And the fact that you all didn't really do too good on the Facebook ads, I don't know if I really want to move forward with you guys managing my Google ads. I was like, just being honest. Like, I didn't really have a great impression with you guys. I was like, I've had worse. I've had other companies where we didn't get a single lead from it. So, like, you're not the worst company. I don't have any ill will towards you guys or anything like that. I was like, it just didn't really work out. But if you're using them for the Google ads, I'm definitely interested to hear how that's working. What's your average cost per lead? What's your conversion rate in terms of clicks to, getting phone calls and all that type of stuff? Are you getting more phone calls, or are you getting like form submissions? All that type of stuff. Let's see. They told me that pest control companies do better with Google Ads using them. Man, don't tempt me now. Don't tempt me, because that's the main reason I have my Google Ads shut off right now. I don't have the time to manage it. And they, if I remember right, was not very expensive. They were only going to charge They were charging me at the time $250 a month to use them. Mostly forums from Facebook. Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in the Facebook ads part just based on the experience that I had with them. But the calls from Google, the Google Ads section is what I'm kind of intrigued about. Yeah, it's 300 or something, not terrible. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad at all compared to some of the prices that, some of these marketing companies charge. I mean, even me, for example, like, again, some questions that I get from people was like, would you manage my Google Ads? And I'm like, dude, again, for the time it takes for me to manage Google Ads, it wouldn't be worth it to you. Like, I would have to charge $3,000 a month to manage someone's Google Ads. So that's why I don't offer anything like that right now. Like I said, maybe at some point in the very distant future will we kind of start taking stuff in like that. It'd probably be like a whole nother company that I would start up at that point. But that's not really anywhere in the deck of cards for the near future. Before I was running Google Ads by myself, I think I did like $2,000 worth of ads in 4 months. Let me see what we did. I don't know why they keep telling me I need to put a new form of payment on file either, because I have no balance, and yeah, I don't know why it's saying that. Anyways, let's take a look. I want to see. We spent quite a bit because I mean I was running my Google Ads there for probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like I want to say maybe 3 to 6 months straight. So let me go back. I want to see how much money we spent. I know it was sometime around November of 23. Let's see. Oh, we didn't spend that much. Okay, we spent about $3,500. $3,460 and some change. Almost 3,470 is what we ended up spending. We had 182 clicks. The main thing is we only had 12 first-time callers. Now, I say that, but again, if you all watch the video that I uploaded about CallRail's like tracking issue, the conversion tracking issue, so it recorded our last first time phone call March 4th, 2024. We ran our ad all the way up through April 15th. So we had over a month where our conversion tracking was not working. It wasn't firing properly. But yeah, I mean, we definitely spent a considerable amount of money on it. And like I said, I mean, I will fire that back up once we get our Stripe loan taken care of. Once we get that taken care of, this thing's firing back up. Because even though, like I said, the conversion side isn't 100% right, I know that we were getting a solid ROI on the ad for sure. Let's see. My total cost is like 1.5K for 1.5 clicks. Holy crap. Is this Google Ads that you're talking to? Not the Facebook ones? Let's see. My total cost was like $1,500 for 1,500 clicks. $1 a click for pest control? And 204,000 impressions, 97 conversions. I'm just running some math really quick. Let's see, 97 conversions. And you did mean 1.5 thousand clicks, right? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's a 6.5% conversion rate. Ideally, you would want that around 10, but I mean, it's not horrible or anything, especially with only paying $1 per click. My God. What area are you in, by the way, Justin? I forget if you've ever told us what area that your business is located in. Because $1 a click on Facebook ads is crazy. You know what? I bet they got you all set up on Performance Matrix, or I think that's what it's called over here on Google Ads. Because there's different type of ads that you can set up. I bet you they got you all on the Performance Matrix. Let's see. So apparently I still have that ad running. Not even $5 a day. Around $150 a month. The Adexo ad is $20 a day. I've gotten 1,970 impressions, 36 clicks so far. And this one's been running since May 20th. Man. Dude, you gonna tempt me. Let's see. 1970. Hold up. I did my math wrong. 36 by 1970. Was that the impressions? That's the impressions. How many clicks whenever you were mentioning the 1970 impression? Oh, 36 clicks. Okay. Do you happen to know the conversions on that 36 clicks so far? The click-through rate, the click-through rate is not great on it. It's 1.8%. But like I said, I mean, if they're running like a performance matrix type of, I believe that's what it's called. Let me act like I'm going to set up a campaign real quick just so I can give you guys an idea. So they're probably doing it based on leads. And then from there, let's see, let's hit continue. They're probably doing, performance matrix. I guarantee you, you're going to be on everything. Search, display, video, demand gen, shopping. Like, you're going to be on a little bit of everything. Because certain aspects, like doing display ads, super cheap. Doing video is, give or take, cheap. But display ads are what's really, really cheap. It means that your ad is going to be on over 3 million websites, which is what makes it relatively cheap to be on those. But with that, that's usually going to drag down, especially for a service business, the CTR. But I don't care as much about the CTR. I care about the conversion rate on those clicks for sure. Let's see. New Mexico. Oh, okay, not too far from Albuquerque. Pretty much every call. Oh, so when I mean conversion rate, I'm saying, so you have your impressions, you have your clicks, you have your conversion rate, and then you have your acquisition. What you were talking about with like every call we get, we sell. That's like your oh my gosh, I can't talk tonight. Your cost, like your cost per acquisition, your rate that you're selling. What I'm referring to is your conversion rate, which is, for every 10 clicks you get, how many of those 10 clicks are calling you, submitting a form, things of that nature. So say you got 10 clicks and one person called you, that would be a 10% conversion rate. That's what I'm asking. Like, do you happen to know, is there a number? Usually what you can do is there's a drop down, and if you scroll down where it says conversions, you can do all, or you can do, calls, first time calls. It depends on what type of conversions you have set up on your account. But is that called? No, CTR is your click-through rate, meaning for every 100 impressions, how many clicks are you getting? That's your CTR. So say you had 100 impressions and you got 5 clicks, that would be a 5% CTR. And then from there, like we said, to get the conversion rate, it would be out of X amount of clicks, are you getting X amount of conversion. So again, say you got 10 or let's say 100 clicks even, and you had 7 conversions out of those 100 clicks, 7 people called you, that would be a 7% conversion rate. Like I said, usually if you click that drop down, it sounds like you might be on your Google Ads account right now. If you scroll down to conversions, like because you have performance and then below that there's conversions. If you click the little arrow, at least on the desktop version, if you click the arrow, there's usually a all conversions. You can hit that and that should give you everything. Like ours says 30 conversions, so we were paying, again, the conversion tracking wasn't right for about a month, but, based on that, we were paying like $100 per conversion, which is wrong. We weren't paying $100 per conversion, but again, we had some tracking issues. So the conversion rate right now is 2.78%. So this is where, again, we do like reverse engineering of the math. So if your average cost per click, this is actually, I'm going to end up, what I'm going to do with this part of the stream is when it uploads, I'm going to clip this entire section and we're going to have a whole video about like Google Ads for this, because this is actually good information for people here that a lot of people won't see because we're almost an hour and a half in. But, let me see. So 2.78%. So how would I do this? 0.0278 times, we'll just say 100. So out of every 100 clicks, you're getting, we'll just round up and say three calls. Let me see, I'm trying to get your numbers pulled back up here. So I'm trying to do the math. So are you running the ad at $20 a day, or is it what's the 4.8 per day that you're talking about? Because I see one thing here that says 4.8 per day, but then you have one that says the Adexo ad is $20 a day. So are you paying $20 a day, or is it set up for 4.8? I'm assuming $20 a day is what you're saying. So I'll go with the math. The Adexo is $20 a day. So that, okay. So I'm just going to go based off of that one for this example. Because that 2.78%, that's the Adexo one, right? That's not both of them. That's not the other one. Like that 2.78%, that's your Adexo controlled Google ad, right? If not, let me know. So let's see if you're, yes, okay. So you're spending, let's see, $20 a day. And you're running that ad every day of the week, right? Is it running 7 days a week or 5? Because to get an exact number, to give you an idea if this is worth it or not, I need every ounce of this information. So $20, let me see. You said May 20th. Let's get the calendar pulled up. I'm going to assume 7 days a week. If it's 5 days a week, type 5 in the chat. But let's see. If it's 7 days a week, we've had 5 days in June, and then you had 11 days. I love being on this. Okay, so yeah, 7 days a week. So 16 days total this is ran. So 16 times. I mean, of course, the $20 a day is subjective, obviously, because, you could do $25 one day, $12 the next, $20 the next. Like the $20 is just Google saying like we will not allow your ad to spend over this much in a month. So we're just going to assume that you spent $320. If you know the exact number that you spent, you can let me know in the chat. But based on the days that you told me this ran at $20 a day, that's $320 total, which means that you spent an average of $107 per conversion. which is a little high. It's not like unheard of or anything, but it's a little high. Now, depending on your closing rate, say you're closing 2 out of 3, it's not the end of the world because let's see, multiply that times 3 divided by 2. That means your average cost per acquisition is $160 in that case, but let's see, cost was $377. Oh, so it's even higher. Let's see, 377 divided by 3. So $125 and change per conversion. So when you talk about, for example, Google local service ads being expensive, does it cost you more than $125 per lead? Because that, based on the data from the last 16 days, that's how much you're paying per lead right now, is $125.66, which doesn't make sense because when I'm looking at your data from further up, let's see, where was this at? You said you had 97. Man, what the hell? Where's this at? Before I was running Google Ad, my total cost. When you were talking about my total cost is like $1,500 on 1,500 clicks, 204,000 impressions, 97 conversions. I mean, you said 1.51, so we'll say $1,510 divided by 97 conversions. That's only $15.56 per conversion. So there's a wide discrepancy there. You're talking like over $100 difference, $110 difference per those two sets of data. So I'm kind of confused as to where the discrepancy is. Let me go back and reread through some of this. Let's see. Before I was running Google Ads by myself, I think we did 2,000 worth of ads in 4 months. So is this data the 1.51K for 1.5K clicks and 204,000 impressions, 97 conversions? Is that the data based on you running the campaign yourself? Or was that's my Adexo ad. Okay. Like, this is why I'm getting confused. So, yes. Yes to that. That was the ad you were running. Because if the $15.56 is what you were getting, I would not be using Adexo if that's the case. Let's see. No, you're confusing. Yes, the 1.5 thousand is the ad running myself. Okay. So yeah, if that's the case, then you need to be running your ads and not Adexo because you're paying based on that data we just went over. You're paying an additional $110 per conversion. Because again, we'll go back over the math here really quick. So you said you paid $377. Not to mention you're paying them $300 a month. So we're going to add that in here. That's $677 that you've paid total. You paid them, you paid the ads. $677 divided by, let me see, let's go back up here. So the conversion rate was 2.78%. Okay, so you know what? What is 2.78%? 36 clicks. What? No way. $36 clicks. Okay. Oh, my bad. It's even worse than I expected. So you've had 36 clicks off that ad. You had a 2.78% conversion rate. that means you got one lead off of that 607. Does that sound right to you? Have you only gotten one call from that ad? I'm going to send you a DM of my ads account. Okay. I'll pull up Discord where no one can see. I'm going to do it on the desktop where no one can see it. Because, yeah, something doesn't sound right. I mean, that at a 2.78% conversion rate on 36 clicks, that's one conversion. That means that you literally got one phone call from that ad. So that doesn't make sense based on the other data. Like, it's such a wide discrepancy. I don't know why Discord's not pulling up on my laptop or on my desktop, so I'm going to try to sign in really quick on the desktop version. Oh boy, here we go. Apparently I forgot my password, so I'm going to have to get signed back in really quick. Let me see if you said anything else. Oh, you also need to sign in. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and if you guys have any questions or anything, any other you guys, I see we got half a dozen of you in here. The whole point of tonight's stream was we were going over, if you're just tuning in late, the first probably half hour of the video, we were going specifically over questions that you must ask when you're looking to purchase a pest control company. Not even just a pest control company, but really any company for that matter, especially service-based businesses. What is going on? It didn't even send me. Oh, check your spam folder. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about things that you absolutely have to ask, questions that you have to ask before even considering buying a pest control company. So if you're just tuning in and you want to hear about that, rewind back to about, I would say about the 5 to 10 minute mark of the stream and then watch the next like 20 minutes because we go over a lot of information that, you definitely want to have a pen and paper or something to write down those notes because my freaking Discord's not sending me the sign-in link. Jesus Christ. Let me see. Let me try this. Let me see. So 1 second. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like I said, of course, we've opened it up for Q&A too. So if you have any questions about either buying a pest control business, starting a pest control business, growing a pest control business, whatever the case may be, then come on, man. What is going on with Discord tonight? Oh, did it just sign me in like out of nowhere? Let's see. Where are we at? Direct messages. Okay, here we go. This is a Dexo. Okay, here we go. Awesome. So it looks like he sent me the information. Why is it getting blurry on me when I try to blow it up? So the first one is from a Dexo. let's see. So, like you said, yeah, like you said, 36 clicks total. One conversion. On how much money spent? Yeah, 377. So, like I said, there could be a couple things here with I'm breaking down the ad that they're managing first for you. So, the one that they're managing for you, it could be a couple things. One, the conversion tracking may not be set up properly. I would dive into your conversion tracking, making sure that's set up, or ask them if there's a way that they can confirm that the conversion tracking is set up properly for you. And if they, either act dumb about it or they, just don't really know, just say just be upfront with them. Say the reason I ask guys is my account is showing that the ad that you're managing has one conversion on $377 spent. So if I'm spending $377 per acquisition, but then on the ad that I am managing, let me see. Well, hold on here. So the ad that you're managing, it says you only got 7 calls. So let's see. And you actually spent more. You spent less money than what you said. You said 1.51. It looks like you only spent 1.1. So that's actually a good thing. 7. So with yours, it's still high based on the calls. If we're talking price per call specifically, you're spending $161 still. Let's see. He also did say he's chatting me in Discord right now. He's saying doesn't think it's tracking correctly because I've gotten way more calls. If you're listening right now, still Justin, because I know you're in Discord, so I guess unless if you have YouTube Premium, you're probably not able to hear this right now. But if you are listening right now, Justin, do you have, are you using like a call rail tracking number, or are you just using your business cell phone number, if that makes sense? Like when you set this ad up, do you also have a call rail account set up where you're using a specific tracking phone number to know for a fact that, yes, like, because like you can pull up call rail and see every time that number was hit and say call rail is showing, 20 calls, for example, but the Google ad is showing only 7 calls, then, like you said, there's some type of tracking issue with the Google Ads tracking. Or the other thing you need to make sure in CallRail is that you're only looking at first time calls. You're not looking at duplicate calls, spam calls, all that type of stuff. So you said you use Wix for your work phone. I don't know enough about Wix to know. I know that. Yeah, I don't know enough about Wix to know if there's like a tracking number that you get, or if you're also going to need to set something up with CallRail. That's why I like just using CallRail. It does, even though there is issues with the integration on Google Ads, if nothing else, you can always go to the source, go to CallRail, and it will tell you because you have a specific phone number for each type of ad. Like I have a phone number for our Google business profile in Plano. I have one for our winter Google ad. I have one for our termite Google ad. Like it just makes the tracking where even if, say, worst case scenario, you are having issues with the Google Ads tracking working properly, you can always go to CallRail and see like, oh, okay, well, like we really had 15 new calls, for example, and we spent $1,000. So from there, we could break down the math and say, or we'll use your number, for example. Let's see, we'll do that. And let's say it was 15 calls. Well, then you would know, okay, we're paying $75 per lead. That's why I like using stuff like CallRail. Let's see. This is the business. Let me see. I do like that you got 44 reviews. That is good. You even got a actual address on here. Oh, you're right. You're in a good location too, in terms of. I mean, of course, you're not like in the center of Albuquerque or anything, but like you said, you're in a pretty good spot overall. Let me see. What was I getting on here for? I don't even remember. I see you got cookies on here. That's good. It means you're able to see your heat map. Who did your website, by the way? I'm interested. I wonder if it's down here at the bottom. Oh, with Wix. Is someone managing it for you, or did you do all this yourself? Because it's not bad at all. I would put some. I'm getting into a whole nother subject. Let me see. Where were we? Let's go back in here. Let's see. Oh, you have a new website being made right now. You did pretty good on that website. I wouldn't be too mad about it. Let's see. Trying to figure out the whole Google Ads situation. Yeah, I mean, I would mess around. Like I said, I would hit up Adexo and figure out, like, hey, is there something going on with my conversion tracking? Because I'm only showing one conversion and I've spent $377. If I'm spending $377 per conversion, that's totally unacceptable, obviously. It doesn't sound like that's the case. Here's another question I do have for you, because it sounds like you may even be running a call only ad on Google Ads. Whenever you answer the phone, are those calls saying anything like, when you first answer, is it saying like call from your Google ad or call from Google, things of that nature? Like, is there some type of little chime that lets you know that this is a call from your Google ad? Because that's another indicator a lot of times, is that you're getting a call from the Google ad. Similar to Google local services in that aspect, actually. No. Okay, so some of these very well that you're getting may not even be coming from. It shows up as Wix business call. Yeah, I would, man, dude, to be honest, I would get on CallRail as soon as possible. If you can afford to have someone build a website, oh, this must be the one you're having built. Awesome. Yeah, if you can afford to like have someone build a website, I would definitely invest in like CallRail and get these, what do you want to call them? Get those call tracking numbers, because the cool thing about CallRail too is you don't just have your call tracking numbers, but you have form tracking as well. So say someone submits a form on your website, you will get an email, one that obviously shows the form and all that basic stuff, but then below that it will also tell you what browser they were using, was it an iPhone device, like it'll tell you everything about this user who submitted the form. And same thing with the phone call, it will tell you keyword data, it will tell you that it came from your Google ad. Even if they click on your website and then call from the website, because you have what's called a phone number, what's it called, like a number pool or something like that, where it just rotates like 2 to 4 different phone numbers, something like that. The whole point is when they click on your website and they call a number that's on your website, CallRail still tracks that to let you know that, like, hey, they found you on your Google ad, they clicked on your website on the Google ad, and then they called you from this specific page on your Google ad. So it gives you kind of the customer journey, if that makes sense. They call it like medium source and all this different type of stuff. CallRail, I heard you talk about that yesterday or 2 days ago. This is what Adexo gives me. Why is it not letting me blow up the picture? This is getting frustrating. New Facebook lead, new Facebook lead. So, I mean, these here have a lot of Facebook leads, which, like we said, if that's working out for you, cool. But, you know, If nothing else, like I said, I would try to figure out what's going on. I don't like the Facebook lead, so yeah, I had the same experience with the Facebook. I had the same problem with the Facebook leads. So, like I said, all you're demanding, quote unquote, from them is accountability. And if you all are wondering, like, where's he getting this information from? I was chatting with Justin in the chat. He was sending me some info through DMs on in our Discord group, so I could like look into his Google Ads situation that he's got going on. And I've just been chatting like based off of what he was saying in this DM. Real quick, Scott Copley, what is the name of your company in Dallas? My company is Preferred Pest Management. And like I said, it's actually just north of Dallas, technically. It's in the Plano, Texas area. Um, yeah, it's in the Plano, Texas. So if you just type in, honestly, if you just type in Preferred Pest Management, if you're in the Dallas, Texas area, it'll pop up pretty much automatically. If you type in Preferred Pest Management, Plano, or anything like that, it'll pop up as well. I know that area well. Yeah, I've had a lot of people hop in tonight saying they know the area. Um, yeah, no, hopefully, Justin, if you're still in the YouTube chat as well, hopefully what we kind of talked about at least gives you some kind of guidance in terms of where like what you should do essentially. Like I said, I would reach out to Dexo, kind of hear them out, say, hey, is there something going on with the Google ad tracking that like we need to get fixed? I'm not okay with paying $300 $400 per lead. That's just craziness. And this is where a lot of companies can overspend, is because if you don't have everything in terms of tracking in place, you may think, like you said, Justin, that, well, the calls are coming in. So, I mean, as long as calls are coming in, everything's cool. Well, yes and no, because, like, why would you keep spending money on these ads if they're not making you any money, right? Like me, I haven't spent a dime on ads now in 3 months, but we're still getting anywhere between 20 to 50 calls a month. So, and that's increasing now that we moved our business location to Plano and getting that all optimized for that location and everything. So, um, let's see. I think the Google ad tracking must be off because we got like 3 to 5 leads a day. Are you getting messages from Adexo like what you sent me that are showing that they're coming from Google? Or are you, like I said, are you just assuming that because you're getting 3 to 5 leads a day, that some of them must be coming from Google Ads? Because like I said, we don't want to assume, because based on your Google Business Profile, dude, you're probably getting some calls from your Google Business Profile. I'm just assuming. Yeah, exactly. See, I was there. I was literally there. I was you my first, 6 to 12 months in business. All I knew was, hey, the phone's ringing, so whatever I'm doing must be working. If we really want to go to that next level, we gotta know like where our resources are best being spent, if that makes sense. So that's where the call tracking, form tracking, all this stuff. Call rail's about $100 a month. Like, to me, for $100 a month, if that can save me, in your case, for example, you've spent what sounds like, if you include the cost of a Dexo, $300 a month. You spent $377 over the last 16 days, so almost $700. If you had been spending $100 a month on CallRail, you got that all set up and everything, and you saw that, like, dude, this thing got us one lead, you would know immediately, I need to cut this. Like, you cut the string and move on, right? Or at least adjust, right? Make some adjustments, tweak it, do what you need to do, go back, try again. Not always do you need to cut the string, right? Sometimes it's just a matter of making adjustments. But how do you know that you need to make adjustments without actually, having that data to make data-driven decisions, if that makes sense? Scott Copley said from is that Rhode Island? Rhode Island in the house? A lot of my wife's family is actually from Rhode Island. Her dad is actually from Rhode Island. Why the hell he decided to move to Missouri is beyond me. But he's from from Rhode Island, and I believe her grandparents, like his whole family up there, is from Rhode Island. That accent is choppy up there. Her grandma specifically, her dad will like make fun of her because of her choppy like northeastern accent. Justin said my girlfriend's family is also from the. That's hilarious. Yes, Rhode Island. Yeah, do you have the northeastern accent, Scott? Rhode Island sucks. Yeah, her dad, oftentimes like talks about like how small it is, and he says something about like, man, you could literally hop on a bicycle and drive across the state in 30, 45 minutes, and all this stuff. No, I don't drop my horse. That's funny. Can't wait to move to which are you moving to my parts, the Dallas, Texas area, or which part of Texas are you moving to, Scott? I can't believe we've already been on here almost 2 hours. See, it's so easy. Y'all trapped me. At 30, 35 minutes, I was about to end this stream, and then I opened it up for Q&As, and y'all sucked me in. I got on Google Ads. I got on some website stuff, and Adexo. Once you started talking about Adexo, you had my attention because, like I said, I had my own little experience with them. Like I said, I don't have no ill will towards them or anything like that. It just it didn't work for me personally. You know, I'm gonna do you a solid, Justin. Since I have your Google business page pulled up and the teleport is working tonight, it looks like. I'm gonna try to see what your Google business is ranking in your area. Let's see. So you're right over here. I am going to drop a pin. Where do I want to drop a pin? I always like to try to drop a pin in a pretty populated area. I'm gonna drop a pin over here off of what road is this? Not too far from, is it West Side Boulevard? West Side? West Side Boulevard and what is that? Unser? Unser Boulevard? Unser? Right around this area. Right around the, man, y'all got some weird ass names over here. Not too far from the Mission Veterinary Clinic, if you know where that is. I'm going to drop a pin right over here. And we're going to do search term pest control service and see where you pop up. North of Dallas. I'm actually going there next week for work. So close to Plano then, huh? North of Dallas. Let me see. So north of Dallas, what? Richardson, Plano, McKinney, Frisco, Allen. One of those, I'm guessing. Anna, Melissa, Prosper. Okay, so you're ranking number 4. Not too bad at all. How long have you been in business, by the way? I always like to kind of get that information. You're ranking number 4, and this is approximately, what would you say? How far is this from your business location? Would you say like a mile and a half, like if you were to do just a straight line, not actual drive time, would you say in a beam line, like you're about a mile and a half? If so, you're number 4 in that area. Let me try another area here. Is there a reservation over here, by the way? I see there's like a... The only reason I ask is I see there's like a... I'm going to flip the camera around real quick. I see there's like an area right here that's kind of like boxed off, almost like it's... I've never seen that before, and I know that there's some like reservation, and not to mention there's a casino in that area too. I didn't know if it was like a reservation or something out there. I have a buddy who has family out there, and he was saying something about reservations are still pretty prominent out there. I'm gonna drop a pin in, let's see, over here, not too far from Target, Trader Joe's, all that type of stuff. We're gonna drop one real quick at, what is this? 528? 528 and 25, kind of that interchange area. Let's try that out. You're probably not going to rank as good there. It's a lot more populated and it's a little bit further. But, you know, I always like to kind of go a little bit further out just so you guys have an idea of how much work you still need to get done. So this says 20 plus in that area. Organic. There's a company named Organic Pest Control. That's funny. What is organic about pest control? Let's see. Sure, of course. Oh, it was a reservation. I was wondering. Let's see. You said Denton. I've been to Denton, what, maybe twice ever? I don't know what it is, but Denton is a freaking hail and tornado attracting area. I don't know if you heard about that, Scott. There was a pretty big tornado that hit not too far from Denton in a town called Valley View. It was a pretty bad tornado. It was like a F3, F4 that went through. Or no, I think it was just F3, as a matter of fact, that went through there. And it messed some stuff up for sure. What's going on, Dwight? Nice to see you in the chat tonight. What about Crawley, Texas? Is there a company there, or you just asking about the area? Matter of fact, I don't even know where that is. Let me look it up real quick. Where's that at? Is that like Houston area? Oh, that's Tarrant County. That's not too far. Let me see where this is at. This is close to like Fort Worth, isn't it? Oh yeah, south of Fort Worth, down 35W. Let's see. I've never been over there, to be honest. No wonder I didn't know where it was. I haven't been that far west. The furthest west that I have gone is Arlington, Bedford, Euless. I don't travel too far west too often. Matter of fact, I had a very, very wealthy customer I had to turn down in the North Richland Hills area. It was like a 6,000 square foot house. I could tell there was going to be money there. Name your price type of service. Unfortunately, my closest stop to him is like an hour away. So I was like, I was like, dude, if you call me up in 10 years, we can work something out. But right now, we do not have a technician that goes out that far. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah. I think I rank higher on Google Maps because it shows a physical location for me. The only reason it shows that is because UPS. Ooh. Yeah, you're playing with fire a little bit, so definitely ride that train as long as you can. Hopefully none of your competitors or anything. I'm not even going to say your company name or anything like that, just to try to help you out, protect you. Because, yeah, if someone reports that, then they will shut that down. Unfortunately. I wish that it didn't matter, that they didn't take it that serious. But I see why they do, because here's the thing. If they were to allow everyone to do that, think about how easy it would be for you to open up a location like every 2 to 5 miles everywhere and, you know, like take advantage of the Google local service, Google Map Pack, right? Without even really working for it, optimizing for it, having honest reviews, things of that nature. So I get why Google's like been kind of stiff about that rule, but like I said too, you know, there's like 4 pest control companies in the same spot. That's funny. I only found it because they used that too. Huh. That is hilarious. And like I said, guys, hopefully you have been enjoying the stream so far. If you have, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. Holy shit, it's 9 o'clock. I didn't message my customers yet. I need to get that done right now. I only have a few for tomorrow, but shoot. I hate texting people this late. Actually, the good thing is all of them that I'm going to tomorrow already know that I'm coming. They're all new starts and quotes, so that worked out perfectly. Okay, cool. crisis avoided. I was wondering, I was like, I never forget to pre-text my customers or anything like that. So how the hell did I forget? But no, I didn't forget. It's just none of them actually need text. Let me see. And by the way, if you're not already subscribed, I try to mention that periodically. I try not to be that guy. It's like every 2 minutes. Oh, subscribe, subscribe. But if you're not already subscribed, do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. All that good stuff. And if you know someone that could benefit from the content in the future or right now even, hit that share button and share it with them. That way they will not miss anything either. Let's see. And then if y'all have any other questions or anything, real quick, don't hesitate to let me know. And I will gladly answer. Otherwise, I haven't even had dinner yet. I don't know where my family is either, so I might be having to hit them up and be like, where the hell are y'all at? Left me home all evening by myself. And we're almost, I'm just looking at YouTube analytics stuff real quick while I'm waiting on some of your all's comments and questions. We are 5 subscribers away from 2,700. So like I said, if you know anyone that would benefit from the content that we put out here, do me a favor, share it with them. Or if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future videos or live streams that we do. If you're tuning in for the first time and just wondering who the hell is this dude that popped up on my live feed or my shorts feed, whatever, wherever you're seeing me, and you're just wondering who the hell is he, my name is Griffin Thomas. I own a business, a pest control business specifically, Preferred Pest Management in the Dallas, Texas area. And on my channel overall, I just document my overall business journey, and I go live, every so often just to answer any questions that you guys may have, about starting a business, growing a business. Today's topic that we were going over for the first half hour or so of the stream was, the important questions that you must ask whenever you're looking at buying a pest control business, specifically those good old one-man operation businesses. Now, one thing that I did not hit on when it came to, and those of you that are tuning in now are getting some free extra sauce when it comes to this subject. There are benefits. Like I was talking a lot about how so many people are, overvaluing their businesses. But, at the same time, there are benefits when you're a small company and you are, not. Hold on, I'm having to text my wife real quick. I'm sorry about that. I'm not going to lose my train of thought, though, because this is an important subject. There are benefits to actually buying a one-man show when you are still like a one-man, two-man show, because they are, their customers are used to them being with a very small company. So when they see that, oh, you're being bought, but you're being bought by another small company, their guard is going to be down a lot in terms of, they're not going to be so like, oh, you're selling out to a big company, cancel. Like, if you come in there and you really kind of masseuse the customers, like, hey, we're going to do everything the same way, if not better, blah, 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 you have a higher chance of keeping them. But yeah, on that note, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. They actually, speaking of the Devils, they just pulled up, and my wife let me know that they are crashed out to sleep, which makes sense because it's 9:30 p.m., so I got to go out there and help get them out of the car and all that good stuff. Dwight says, thanks for giving us game, bro. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Shout out to all y'all that were in the chat. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Like I said, if you did, smash that thumbs up button, all that good stuff. And then if you have any questions that you think of after this goes from a live to a video, either shout it out in the chat, in the comments, I should say, or shout it out in Discord, Facebook, whatever the case may be. All helpful links for you are in the description box as always. I appreciate y'all tuning in. How's it going, Bubble Gup? Rewind back to the around 5-10 minute mark for all the awesome stuff that we went over tonight if you're just tuning in. Otherwise, I'll see you